With that in the air, time to welcome in the Associated Press, Bernie Wilson, back to the Sports Rail. You can follow Bernie on Twitter at Bernie Wilson. Bernie.
Pablo, hola, Happy New Year.
Hola, Happy New Year to you. Before we started, we were going to start talking Aztec basketball, but then Jerry McGee passed away. UT legend, wrote there, was a sports writer there for 52 years, I believe. Mm-hmm. Did you know Jerry very well?
I did, not super well, but in passing. And he had moved on to more like boxing and tennis, things like that, after covering the Chargers for a few decades. So by the time I got down here to America's most magical city, he was on different beats. But he defined old school. I know that sounds a little cliche, but they don't make them like Jerry McGee, and they never will.
My first year in town, I was covering the La Costa event. Maria Sharapova was making her debut performance. She was 16 years old. So Jerry was sitting behind me at a press conference, and I asked a question that went on a little bit, and all I could hear behind me was, "Stupid question."
That's Jerry.
Yeah.
As I told you earlier, I would like to see Jerry McGee in his prime go toe-to-toe with some of the NFL coaches of today. There would be hands thrown, and Jerry would not lose.
Yeah. So getting back to what was going to be our lead story. By the way, to all the UT brethren out there, condolences.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I know.
Rest in peace, Jerry. I'll have a nip for you when I get home.
He was a UT Hall of Famer for sure. So the Mountain West Conference season starts Saturday for the Aztecs against Boise State, team near and dear to your heart.
Oh, definitely.
How concerned should we be about this basketball team?
Very, because they seem to lack focus. They seem to lack motivation. They got absolutely embarrassed by Brown. Ivies can play good basketball, but an Ivy League team should not be ahead of San Diego State by 30 points with 1:19 to go before halftime at Viejas Arena. Yeah. That was flat out embarrassing. Yesterday against Cal State Northridge, they want to be called CSUN, but we call them Northridge. Sorry, guys, you're a state college. They were down 15 minutes to go, and CSUN played only 7 guys. There's no focus. There's no...
It seems... What concerns me is it seems to be more of a chemistry thing.
That's part of it, and there's no magic there anymore, that's for sure.
One quickly, give me your 15 best seconds on UCLA bailing. You're a Bruin right now, right?
I'm a Bruin father. I got a kid there, and they don't give us a break on tuition when they lose at home to Belmont and Liberty Mutual Insurance.
The moral of the story of Steve Alford being fired?
Don't be Steve Alford. I mean, he wasn't a popular hire, and he was not popular as a head coach among the fan base, and obviously not among the boosters.
A guy by the name of Ted Berg, who I stumbled across on Twitter, I think he's from New York, but he is a Giants fan, and he's been following the Padres offseason. And he went on to report how all the Padres, no matter who the free agent is this offseason, Padres are rumored to be interested in. But then you see the 3 names that they've brought in so far, and I think he's poking fun at Friars Nation.
You would think.
That's their signature, a pitcher who's not going to pitch until 2020. Is this just the calm before the storm, or are they just waiting for the young guys to come along?
Well, look, A.J. Preller can pull the pin at any moment. He's, James Shields, 5 frames. James was a late signing. That year, A.J. went nuts with all those bad free agent signings. He added Craig Kimbrell the night before opening day that same offseason. They still could add somebody, but they might just be happy with waiting for the kids to come up and dazzle us all. And they better dazzle us at this point.
You made your Hall of Fame ballot public.
Yes, I did.
The thing that jumps out at me, of the 3 big juicers there, you voted for Clemens and Bonds again to be inducted to the Hall of Fame. You left off Sosa quickly.
And Manny Ramirez.
Why 2 in, why 2 out?
On one hand, baseball deserves to have every cheater, perceived or real, in the Hall of Fame just to illustrate what went on in that era. Put them all in there, all the cheaters. But at a certain point, we have to stop being morality cops, yet there's still a varying degree of who gets a vote and who doesn't.
Using that argument, why not Pete Rose then?
He's ineligible.
I would
vote for him if he
if he was on, let me ask the question better, more accurately. If he was on that list, there'd be an X there.
Sure.
Okay.
Again, we're judge, jury, executioner, St. Peter, and God. That's all there is to it with your Hall of Fame.
So you're unhappy about
no.
Curt Schilling is the other obvious name that didn't get an X in your...
Curt seems to have a thing with journalists, and what he doesn't understand is baseball writers are journalists.
So it's personal.
It's business.
Bernie, you're supposed to just go by athletic careers.
Not necessarily. We can do, again, it's our vote. I earned it, and I will exercise it as I see fit.
You just don't like his politics.
It's not politics, it's his stupidity.
First of all, but while we're talking Hall of Fame, there's now other avenues besides your...
Well, there always have been.
Yeah,
there's always been the Veterans Committee. There's the Modern Day Committee, which, by the way, speaking of juicers, Mark McGwire was on the writer's ballot for the 10 years, didn't make it, didn't come close. Then he made it to some modern day blah, blah, blah committee, and he didn't make it there either. So, you know, it's people, you know, we get yelled at, why didn't you vote for so-and-so? Well, if this... The writers deemed him not Hall of Fame worthy, and then this committee deemed him not Hall of Fame worthy. So, you know, sorry, Mark.
All right, we've got about 2.5 minutes, and I want to bang through a bunch of topics. Give me 15 seconds. Chargers win 12 games, and their reward is going to Baltimore. Can you break down and root for the Chargers to win a playoff game on what is turning out to be a magical season in L.A.?
No, and they know the rules. If you win a division, you get a home game. If you don't, you're on the road. Remember in 2008, I believe it was, Indianapolis, I think they won either 11 or 13 games. I think 13, but they had to come out here to play the AFC West champion Chargers, who were 8-8, and that was the Darren Sproles 22-yarder in overtime. So they know the rules. If they put it this way, if Rivers hadn't thrown that stupid pass against Denver at the StubHub, and they'd be at home.
There's your home game.
You can boil it down to one play. Win that game, and you're at home.
All right, we're going to jump ahead to sadder news. Super Dave has left us at the age of 76. I believe his name is Bob Einstein?
Something like
that.
Yeah,
he's the older brother of Albert Brooks.
I always thought his name was Dave.
Yeah, he was legendary in our household because he was a actor slash comedian slash stuntman, and he did some of the funny stuff on TV. Your thoughts about losing Super Dave?
Rest in peace, Super Dave. It's nice to know you had a real name. You know, he was always on with David Letterman back when David Letterman was a thing, and I could stay up late and watch Letterman. But his deadpan delivery was so spot on, and just the stunts that he did. You know, he was like a blue collar Evel Knievel.
And while we're talking about sad things, the Sugar Bowl marred by Bevo's assault, the mascot, his assault on Uga, the bulldog.
That's one big cow, and they're lucky that a photographer or somebody wasn't stuck on the end of his horns.
I guarantee you right now, PETA is rallying. There will be no mascots anymore. No.
Well, I thought they had a steel enclosure for him instead of those whatever they are. But, you know, the Georgia players were all bitter that they didn't make it into the college football playoff. And it's like, you know what, guys, A, play better, and B, sorry, stuff happens when you have a big cow.
This was a foreshadowing. We did a tale of the tape of the two mascots, Bevo outweighing Uga by a lot. And I didn't even know this, that Bevo's real name is Sunrise Spirit.
I had the things you learn when you come on with Paul Rudy.
That steer has its own Twitter handle and has more followers than you and I combined.
I'm not surprised at that at all. Texas is Texas. That's all I can say. You know, the dog, I guess, lucky to be alive, but the football team, you know, whatever.
We're all lucky to be above ground. Bernie, we'll see you next week. Bernie Wilson, everybody. Tonight on the ASR, we're going hog wild as we resume our prep coverage. We'll see you at 10:45. So concludes sports. Back to the news, guys.